So at this point, we can merge together everything we have and see where we're at. There we go. So this is just about done. The last thing that we want to add in, though, is our chains to hang it from the ceiling. So first we're going to build our little chain link that we're going to copy along. So let's start by dropping down a tube. We're just going to work to the side here, and this is going to be completely independent of everything else for a second. Let's set the primitive type to polygon. Set the orientation to the z-axis, like that. Set the radius scale to 0.015 and the height to 0.03. These are just some values that I played with, and they worked well for what the measurements I was working with. Now let's put down a polyfill node and set the fill mode to single polygon. Now all we were doing there is creating some end caps, and you could have just checked this checkbox, but the reason I wanted to use this is because we can toggle this to create a group that is those end caps. And so now I've got a group with 2 polygons called patch, and I need to reference that group for a couple more nodes that we're going to put down. So that's why we're using the polyfill rather than just adding caps down. Drop down a cap node next. What we're building here is we want to build a pill shape from our tube here. So set the first U cap to end cap rounded, and then change the group to patch. And now those 2 caps that we created in that patch group are now getting rounded to create a little pill. And just to make sure there's no extra geometry being created, change this last U cap to no end cap. Now the reason we're doing this is because there's not really a built-in way to get kind of that pill-shaped curve that we want to use to generate our chain link. So we're just going to build this little pill geometry first, and we're going to slice it up and use that to build our chain. If we middle mouse on this real quick, we'll see that the cap node here is creating some polygon meshes, and we want everything to just be polygons. So drop down a convert node. That'll convert everything to polygon. And now everything is good. Let's look at our point numbers though, and we'll notice that where that cap was added, we've got some duplicate points, and we want to just fuse those together. So let's drop down a fuse so that we can lock this into a single mesh. So now we're ready to slice our pill. So let's drop a clip down. And if we look inside, we'll see that there's some internal geometry here. That's because when we added our rounded caps, it didn't actually remove the old end caps that were there. So let's drop down a blast node. And let's only delete that patch group. And now we have a nice open sliced in half pill. But we want to isolate just an edge from this. So we're going to put down a group node. And we're going to name the group edge. We're going to set the group type to edges. Disable the space group. We're going to include by edges instead. And toggle unshared edges. And this is not displaying. We have 18 edges in our edge group. I might need to make a new... There we go. Sometimes the viewport doesn't update the display of what's selected. But now this is our edge group, which is what we want. We want to just get a curve that is in that shape. So to isolate this, let's put down a dissolve node. A dissolve is a good way of when you want it to do like delete type operations, but you want to do it on edges and curves. So we'll put down edge. We're going to delete non-selected, and we're going to create curves when dissolving boundary. Actually, no, we don't need to check that. What we need to uncheck is remove inline points. Since this is a mesh with polygons and things, it's getting a little confused about what it's trying to do with this remove inline points. So if we turn that off, it gives us the curvature we need. So now we'll just create some depth to this using a sweep. So drop a circle to the side of the node, and let's add a sweep, put our curve in here, and our circle there. And we need to set the circle to polygon for this to work. There we go. And right off the back, the circle is crazy large, so let's set the scale to 0.005. This is going to be a tiny little chain link. Now this bluish color, again, means that the primitives are facing the wrong way, so let's just put down a reverse node. We'll reverse the circle before it's placed. There we go. That looks right. And finally, let's add a null node at the end. Name it chain link. We're going to refer to this the same way that we referred to our crystal nulls. And now let's hook up some controls. Let's grab our controls node, bring up the parameter interface. Let's create a new folder called chains. I'll make it a simple folder. We're going to drag some controls over here. So from our tube, we are going to drag over the radius scale and the height, which, there we go, we'll go this way. Radius scale and the height. Oops, put it in there. And we'll name the height chain link height. And we'll name the radius scale chain link scale. Now from the circle, drag over the scale of that, the uniform scale. And we'll call this chain link thickness. I missed an S there. There we go. And set the max to all of these to 0.1. None of these are going to be very large. And select all of that. Put it in a network box. And name it chain link. And that's the end of that. And the next one, we will take those and we'll propagate them along our chain link curves.